The travel industry is going to go through some major changes in the next few months, even years. And we as travelers need to be prepared for this. You see, we have seen chaos and heartache in the news, and it is going to take us a while until we gain back our confidence to travel again. And if we're thinking that our travel is going to be anything like it was those pre-pandemic days, it is not going to be that way at all. We are definitely going to be seeing some major modifications in the way that we travel. What are those changes going to look like in the future? Well, for instance, take the airlines. They have already started implementing deep cleaning and fumigation in between flights. And we know that this needed to happen. How many of you out there already get on a plane and start cleaning off the area, your table, your chair, your armrest, everything before you touch it? I do. I did a video on that as well, because we know that airlines and aircrafts are one of the dirtiest places out there. So we knew that this had to come into effect. Their turnover between a flight coming in and a flight going out was way too short. So they definitely needed to make adjustments there, and they have already started to do that. Also, with the airlines, when the time comes that the pandemic has been called off and the airports are open now, they're not going to have all of their fleet ready to go. No. Aircrafts need to be maintained on a daily basis. And so an airline has to allocate a small amount of their aircraft and their fleet to be maintained on a regular basis, because it's very expensive to have that done all the time. So they can't do their entire fleet. So when the day comes that they say borders are now open, airports are ready to go, aircrafts will only have a small amount of those ready to start flying again and get back into circulation. Is it going to meet the demands of the traveler? Well, possibly, because actually as we go forward, the travelers out there are going to be a little bit more cautious about traveling. I mean, none of us know if there's going to be a resurgence of this virus or a variation of it. And because of that, many of us will want to travel closer to home. We don't want to be caught out of a country in case the borders end up closing again. We've got fresh memories, and so we don't want that to happen to us. But in saying that, how many of us have been affected financially? We probably won't even have the finances to even make travel a priority. I mean, we still have bills that have to be paid. Maybe they've been deferred, but they still need to be paid. Our savings has been depleted. Some of us have already had to take money out of our pensions. And so no, definitely. Travel, not necessarily going to be something that we're going to be thinking about right off the bat. So it's going to take us a while as travelers to get those numbers back up there again. It's kind of funny, actually. I did a video not that long ago on over tourism. And, at that time, there was way too much travel to certain destinations. And it was too much for the people who lived there to take on. Now, because there is no travel and there is no tourists there to these areas at all, they are also affected financially as well, all the way down to the souvenir shop. So no, it's not all just about the airlines losing money or the hotels or the restaurants. It's about the little mom and pop shop as well that has actually been affected financially by this travel ban. Cruise ships, oh my gosh. Cruise ships, it's going to take a long time for them to gain our confidence and for us to feel comfortable to get back on a ship. And they definitely have to make some major changes to their operations right now. We've seen some horrific stories of ships that have been stranded and people who've been sick and dying on these ships, that they are just like floating petri dishes. So it will take the cruise line industry a long time to get us back on board again. So what are the changes they're going to make? Well, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But they are coming, and we know as an industry they will be making those changes. Another area that we've already started to see changes on is the travel insurance. So it's all maybe well and good that you want to book a trip, but take a look at your travel insurance. It is not going to be the same, and it has already started to make changes. From the time that they announced that there was this COVID-19 outbreak to the time that they started closing the borders and the airports, we have already seen changes being made in the policy wording and the language of your travel insurance policies. And that's because trip cancellations, they were taken off the table first. If you were taking out a policy after it was announced, it was no longer valid. Emergency health, anybody who took a policy out after it was announced again about COVID-19 and travel, you would not have been covered if you were away and contracted COVID-19, or if you had any association with that virus. Going forward, some of the companies have already changed their language in that they will not cover you for COVID-19 or any other pandemic. And the reason they put that in there is because COVID-19 is the virus as we know it today, but as it mutates and as it changes, they may very well end up changing the name. Thereby, it's all in their language. They will not cover you for that. And this is only the beginning. These are only a few companies. When one does, they all do. So you're going to need to pay close attention to your policy wording when you do take out a travel insurance policy. Basically, what we have done is we have pressed the reset button. It's not entirely a bad thing, but it's unfortunate that it took a catastrophe like this for us to wake up and realize that we have been taking advantage of our planet, and that we have had some really poor global practices and they needed to be amended. To our healthcare workers who are working diligently 24/7 out there, saving lives, putting their own lives on the line and taking care of our sick, thank you. Thank you so much. You are deeply, deeply appreciated. Changes are going to come about on a global level. I don't think in history that we have ever seen anything like this, and it's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to seeing you again here next week. Adios, stay safe, and remember, we are all one.